Where's the beef?
Hello everybody, my name is Brandon, and welcome back to the podcast. Why would you make such a noise during my intro, you rat bastard?
I just wanted to mess it up this week. I've been gone.
Yeah, and now you're back to ruin everything again. I'm not redoing the intro, so... welcome to the podcast. As you can see, Zach has now returned from his exile, and this time Weaver's gone. Because, you know, fuck having a consistent lineup. Why would we ever do that?
I'll be gone in like another 3 weeks too, so don't get too attached.
God, stop having a life.
Sorry, I get to go on a free cruise.
Ooh, free cruise. Yeah, I wish I had parents that were cool and wealthy, but hey, anyway. Whatever.
You get to go on a free cruise.
A free cruise and most likely very free trip to New Orleans. And it's not my parents, it's my grandparents.
Wow, yeah, you can go right ahead and fuck yourself. So anyway,
I'm the 1%. No, I'm not. That was a joke. Please, no one lynch me.
Oh my god. Anyway, this week we have a special guest to fill in for the absence of Weaver. Good friend, former work buddy, Jason from the show The Pitch.
Guys, what's going on? I listened to the last couple ones of you guys' episodes to kind of get warmed up, but I like the Beefcast, you guys.
Hell yeah.
I'm a fan.
Nice, we've got one fan.
How do you feel about the YouTube channel's name of Beef Sneeze? Because
Beef Sneeze, it's a bold choice. It is.
How does it make you feel?
But if you stick to it, it'll work. I mean, you got a lot of weird stuff like a bad robot and stuff out there that for some reason is iconic. So
yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
If J.J. Abrams can get away with it, I can get away with it too.
I think there's a difference in like prestige there.
Someday I'll be making
You're far
Star
more
Wars.
significant than J.J. Abrams.
With yours, the pitch is on our company, which is called Baltic Avenue Productions, which is pretty much like, oh yeah, Monopoly, but we're like, no, it's production, so it's different. But
if you look up Baltic Avenue, the first autocomplete on Google is Monopoly. So.
For now.
And we're trying to get away from that. We're trying to get more popular than the game. It was a bold business strategy. It's our mission statement, actually.
Alright, I'll just start Googling Baltic Avenue Productions every single day and upping your search count.
Nice.
Oh, you flatter me. Beef Sneeze will be on mine, too. I'm going to make it my homepage. Don't worry.
Hey,
That's great.
Us indie guys have to support each other.
That's right.
You know
So
I'm sorry, I can't support this.
Oh my god.
Do you have a Dungeons and Dragons podcast on there? I'm sorry.
Yes, we do. It's called Baltic and Dragons. Yes.
Oh, that was going to be my next breakout idea. Damn it, Brandon. We have to go back to the drawing board.
I mean, it wasn't even our breakout idea. We stole it from another podcast that stole it. Like, it's not really. You can still have it. It's fine.
It is definitely not an original idea. There's about a million of them.
You can do Beef and Dragons or something.
Shout out to the Adventure Zone, McElroy Brothers. Marry me. Thanks. I love you. Bye.
We could,
But no, if you guys ever want, like, man, we would love to do another D&D thing because, like, man, our last one was fun. I got to be a druid, and I turned into a whole bunch of animals. And Brandon, I know you worked with our friend Zippy.
Mm-hmm.
He voiced this. It was an eagle I had that I named Joffrey, and essentially it was just a familiar. So I was supposed to control it, but through the story, it gained its own consciousness and kind of became evil and shit. So if you want to do something like that, let me know.
Oh,
That'd
damn.
be fun.
Yeah, that would actually be a lot of fun.
Sounds much better than my evil players that just murder and then ask questions never.
We became the baddies very early. I'm not going to lie.
Well, it's the pitfall that we all fall into.
I mean, to be fair, Zach, you're making us run a pirate campaign right now, so, like, what are we really supposed to do?
You said, we want to be pirates, and I said, I'll make it happen. It's
I
not like
didn't.
I said, you know what? Rape people.
I didn't say a damn thing, I'll have you know. I was fucking brought on at the last minute.
Pirate? What are your pirate names?
I think
pirate names.
I think my character's name is like Salazar or something like that. I'm a monk and
It is.
a raging alcoholic, so fun.
That fits. I like it.
Alcoholic to the point where he functions better while drunk. So when he's sober, I make him take disadvantages to most checks.
It's pretty great because I can't remember which expansion book it was for 5e, but they added like the Drunken Master path for monks, so we decided to work with that, seeing as we were going to try and do a pirate thing.
I think they stole that from a Jackie Chan movie, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
I feel like you're essentially Jackie Chan.
Oh yeah,
There's like a good old trope.
Yeah, the Drunken Fist.
The Drunken Monkey, I think. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Drunken Fist. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been a big kung
I
fu
remember that movie.
kung fu film meme for a while now. But yeah. Anyway, so
I know you could do that in D&D.
yeah, it was one of the more recent expansions. I think I can't remember which one. But anyway, nerd talk aside, we figured we'd have Jason on today and give you guys a little bit of a taste of his show. I don't know if you want to run down, what you guys do essentially, and plug your stuff real quick that I can put in the description that everybody can go check out.
For sure. Yeah, like I said, it's Baltic Avenue Productions. We're friends with the what was it called? The Beefcast?
Whoa, hey, whoa.
No, but
I like that at the party.
you guys can have that. It's my gift, friend gift. But no, it's Baltic. Yeah, it's free. Baltic Avenue Productions. We started, me and my friend Will, who I believe you also worked with for a little bit there, Brandon. We started a podcast called The Pitch, and we've kind of grown. We have like one or two more podcasts that we do. So check them all out on the website. There's the one D&D one. There's a video game one I do, and then they do another movie one. So check those out. It's all on BalticAvenueProductions.com. But our main flagship show is called The Pitch, and it all started from this idea of you have these friends who tell you about this band that you've never heard of, or this movie that they think is really good that you've never seen, and you give it a chance, and it actually ends up being one of your favorites. So I believe the whole idea started from, I had told Will he really needs to watch the show Peaky Blinders, and I kept nagging him about it, and it ended up becoming one of his just favorite shows and everything. And likewise, he at one point, I believe we were super fucked up, and he made me watch Rick and Morty against my will. Like I told him, I don't want to watch this. This looks weird. And it ended up being one of my favorite shows. So it all kind of grew from that concept of you pitching somebody one of your favorite pieces of media and them coming back and being like, this is awesome, or wow, what a fucking waste of time. The show originally, like if you listen to the early episodes, it started as we were kind of trying to do the tropes of I was like the jock and he was the super nerd. But we kind of eventually morphed into who we actually are. So I ended up pitching him a couple more bands than I started and stuff like that, and just normal comedies and movies I really like. But there has been times where he'll pitch me, because he's also super artsy into film. So he'll pitch me something super artsy, like I don't know if you guys seen Antichrist with Willem Dafoe, but I'll come back.
That's your episode number 35. If you want to listen to that.
Yeah, thanks. it's something. No, I think it's actually up there. I think it might be like 50, because at this point we're getting pretty comfortable with each other. Because I think I
promise
just ripped into him.
It's 35.
I'll check the math. I don't know. You're probably right. My bad. But that was definitely one of those movies where I was just like, fuck this movie. But he loves it. So it's one of those interesting shows where sometimes we really like it, and sometimes we just hate the thing that he showed me. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. We also try to add in a couple improv skits and just little games to not just talk about movies the whole time too. So that's that.
I have to ask, because if you were doing the jock trope, my trope on this show is the guy who's slightly critical of the guests because I like to seem unapproachable. Would you like to say that your show, you suggest sort of like out there things for people to interact with, or like just common stuff that you think the other person might not interact with? Because you have some out there ones, such as Little Heard of Band for your second episode. Don't know if you've heard about this, Brandon, but they suggested it. Guns N' Roses.
Oh my god,
they're an up and comer. Have you heard of them?
They're really new on the scene.
And then you have those. You're right. I'm looking through it now. You're right. Episode 35, Antichrist, a movie that I don't know if anybody has heard of, besides maybe you guys.
It's Is that the one with Willem Dafoe?
It's all about. I don't want to go into it. It's bringing back like Vietnam flashback style memories. It's painful to watch. I mean,
if the one with Willem Dafoe's dick in it. That's the question.
Yes.
Oh my
There
God.
is that, and there's a nail, and it's just I'll let the imagination. I don't even have to let you do the imagination.
Yeah,
So Willem Dafoe's dick is like the most mundane part of that movie.
Oh God. So yeah, there are some of that. Will definitely is the one who comes across with some of the more out there stuff. He does definitely have some mainstream things. The other thing with the show is once in a while a movie will come up where it's like, how have you not heard of this or seen this movie? Eternal Sunshine on the Spotless Mind was one that he had pitched me, and I pitched him Missed Doubtfire because I thought that was just absurd how you never see Missed Doubtfire.
Oh yeah.
So there are also like some of those movies in there where it's like, you haven't like the Guns N' Roses. Like he's like, I know like one Guns N' Roses song, so I'm like, well, you gotta listen to Guns N' Roses when you're getting pumped up, man. So plus that totally fit the jock trope I was going for at the time too. So
Oh yeah.
there's kind of a good mix bag during the show.
Hell yeah. Well,
Wait, I'm sorry.
oh God.
I don't want to detract, but I look at people's websites while they're talking on here.
Thanks for paying attention.
I am also hearing his words, but Jason, I have to say, me and you share something in common. Let me just read this little blurb. Studying in Lincoln to be a teacher, Jason learned that he would probably make a really bad teacher. Sure, he could engage kids and make learning exciting, but who wants to deal with that? Teenagers suck, so he moved to Minneapolis. I also just decided to not be an education major because it seemed like too much of a fucking hassle.
Oh yeah, you watch those shows with like Robin Williams where he's just loving it, and that's not gonna be me.
No, I am not. I don't even know what that movie's fucking called off the top of my head.
Dead Poets Society.
I don't know. There you go.
Yeah, thank you,
Come on.
Brandon.
You know I got the Robin
Media
Williams
expert.
knowledge. I know
Have you
all
seen
of the
Doubtfire?
The
Robin.
only Robin
Oh, of
Williams
course.
movie I watch is The Birdcage.
Solid film.
That's why.
Very solid.
Anyway, Brandon, as we know
Oh,
on Discord, I don't
sorry,
see
I guess
where
I
our
did
call.
Sorry, I backed off. My bad.
Oh no, okay. I just got
was
real
just-
confused for a second.
Yeah, because we talked over each other and we were like, no, you. But,
Too
I was
polite.
just saying, since we're on Discord, I don't know how long I've been disrespecting you trying to start this. So if you want to get into the intros and stuff, go for it.
I mean, solid 12 minutes so far, but no, I mean, I think that Jason, giving an overview of his show and everything is a good setup for what we're gonna do. Because I figured we'd let Jason do what he's comfortable with, and we'll all pitch something to each other real quick. And then, go into a little bit more discussion about our experiences with both pitching things to people and having things pitched to us, best and worst, a time that we tried to pitch something to somebody and it just fell flat or they didn't like it or whatever, and just have a good old chat.
Nice.
But yeah, links to all of Jason's stuff will be in the description. Make sure to click on those, support the boy, make his dreams come true, because then we can get famous by proxy.
That's right. Oh man, I can't wait to carry you on my coattails. We'll have fun. We'll have a fun tour bus, you guys. It'll be a
Hell
fun
yeah.
tour bus.
Absolutely.
cling on to that for dear life.
I always joke about that. I do have a friend who's an actor. I'm like, I need you to get famous because I don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm trying to network so much with other podcast people, because I'm like, hey, I'll just have them on my show too, and then if they get large, then here we are.
It's like, hey, they were on the Beefcast at one time.
Exactly.
Paul F. Tompkins. He's the podcast king.
Oh my God, he really is. He's also Mr. Peanut Butter.
Oh, is he? Oh man, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is this a crossover episode?
Oh, I'm gonna punch you in the face next time I see you, Zach. I swear to God. Anyway.
And looks like Chris Pratt and Seagal had a innocent child.
A little bit. But yeah, so I feel like there was more I was gonna say as far as intro stuff goes. But I don't really care how Zach's week went, so I'm not gonna ask him that.
So mean. I've had a big week.
All right, fine. Talk about it.
I want to hear it.
I got a new home. I moved into my new apartment. That's really it. Oh, and I got a job finally. So
about fucking time. Holy shit.
But jobs suck.
Yeah, a little bit.
Great.
Well, let me stop fucking training. Help.
I mean,
training's the worst too. You got to watch all those videos.
Oh, of course.
Oh, I'm a server, so it's hands-on training. But training means that I don't get paid any of the money, no matter how many tables I take care of by myself, because I am training, quote unquote.
Oh, see,
Just get free meals.
Yeah, I moved. I have a now dedicated computer room, so
Ooh.
I will become a professional video boy.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been, harassing you about it for a month.
Suck ass.
It's gonna continue until you have a finished product to show me. I hope you realize that.
Never. It's never.
Well, looks like
Your eulogy will just be.
What are you guys working
wish you
on?
would just make a fucking video.
I'll just bully you for the rest of your life. And to answer your question, Jason, we're working on all manner of things. I keep saying it like every fucking episode or every couple episodes, but I promise I'm making other videos. Because, we want to do more than just the podcast for the channel. We wanted to, because I think our main idea is to do, the podcast pretty consistently. Try to have that, every Wednesday or whatever. And then just kind of fill in with other content, other days of the week. So, like game reviews, like I've done in the past, or movie reviews, or just random, if we're playing a multiplayer game and we record some funny shit going on with that, then do something with that. But yeah, no, we're looking into a lot of different content. We're even actually, I guess spoilers for the future, but we're looking into getting a camera and an actual kind of boom mic so we can do some live action stuff when I go home in August.
Nice.
Yeah, so
nice.
that'd be fun.
So it sounds like somebody's slacking in the video production department then, huh?
I mean, I definitely am, but
I thought I was taking it
So
to
I'm not-
Zach. Oh, man. I missed that arrow really bad.
No, I'm not the video producer. I am basically the writer for anything that will come up. But
yeah, but
Damn.
you've sent me a
Just
total of
won't make
0
mine.
scripts.
shut up.
Hey, I mean,
Summer's hard.
why right
I was
something?
unemployed for a week and a half. It put a big toll on me.
Oh
emotionally.
yeah, poor you. I'm working
I
fucking
script
full
about
time. Meanwhile, I'm.
Can we start this podcast episode or something? I don't know.
I mean, I think we've already started in my mind. Being that
My
most
pitch,
of it.
Zach, do your damn job.
Yeah, my pitch: bullying Zach. It's a time-honored tradition.
Jason fucking tried to cling on to it. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I got to come back with a verdict now. I got to learn a lot about you. Quick, what are you self-conscious about? Let's go. I need to...
Just everything.
Yeah,
Ever.
any and everything.
Give me a
Hold on, let me run out of this
room.
room and then go pop a few pills of Zoloft. I'll be back and be able to handle whatever abuse I take.
Jesus. All right.
Out mentally.
So, I hope that we all have something prepared to pitch. I know I do. But, yeah, I think we can just jump right on into it and start giving our recommendations. So, how do you guys normally do pitches for the uninitiated? What does it really consist of? Just, if you want to give us an overview.
It kind of depends on what you're pitching, but most of the time if we do a movie, you kind of just give rundown on what it is, try not to give away too many big spoilers, but give enough to keep them interested, tell them who they're going to meet, maybe give a little bit more of a dive into why you specifically chose this. Sometimes you'd be like, my dad loved this, so we really watched it a lot together. It doesn't have to be nearly that sappy. Sometimes it can be this was my hangover movie in college. So that would be just fine. Yeah, basically that. Give me a plot, give me a reason why you love it.
All right. Sounds good. I guess I'll just go first then. So mine is a movie, and I know fortunately Weaver's not here because I know I've already shown this to him, but I don't know if either of you guys have seen it. But pitching the movie Wet Hot American Summer. Fantastic film.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to say, sounds like a porno. Fantastic film, though.
Is it not a porno? I thought you were suggesting that we go watch porn.
No, I mean, it does have a love scene between Michael Ian Black and Bradley Cooper. Fun fact, it was Bradley Cooper's first film, and he skipped his college graduation to film that scene. But anyway,
you don't want to go to that anyway.
Yeah, it's fuck it. Anyway, it's essentially, it's about I think it's the mid 80s, like 84 or 85. But it's just about having fun at a summer camp with your friends and maybe stopping a government conspiracy or two. It's
Sorry?
Yeah, it's really out there. It's such a fucking goofy comedy. It's Michael Showalter, David Wayne, Michael Ian Black, Paul Rudd's in it, Janine Garofalo. So all the like early 2000s, late 90s kind of mainstays. Mostly early 2000s, actually.
Yeah, they had a comedy group, right? It was like the Upright Citizens Brigade. Like, it's all like Amy Poehler and those guys. That's like what they called themselves, I think.
Yeah. I actually forgot Amy Poehler was in it. Good call. But yeah, no, Amy Poehler does play a big part. It's, I don't know, it's hard to really go more in detail with the plot because really the plot is just about the last summer at summer camp as you're growing up and all the experiences and stuff you have there. But it is so goddamn funny. Like, the first time I watched it, I was genuinely crying with laughter. Like, it's some of the goofiest shit I've ever seen. And I mean, I think I know both of you guys well enough that I know your senses of humor. I definitely think that you would both get nearly as much of a kick out of it as I do. So yeah, I really
made there's a Netflix sequel to this, isn't there?
There's a prequel and a sequel, which are both actually pretty good. I would recommend watching both of those, but I definitely would say start with the movie, just because both of the prequel and sequel series, they make a lot of references to like shit that happened in the movie as jokes, like even in the prequel.
Yeah, and they also are like make jokes about like, wow, this is just a year later, but you look so much older, when obviously they've aged 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's a lot of some of the comedy's pretty subtle too, but then there's a lot of just really out there and ridiculous stuff. Yeah,
what's like your favorite gag in it?
Oh my god. Oh shit!
There's maybe like a most iconic too. It's hard to pick favorite because then you're like narrowing down that you don't like this one as much or whatever. Mm-hmm. What's like the most iconic scene from it?
The most iconic scene I would have to say is probably the montage from when they go into town. It just like it starts out, the one counselor is like, yeah, we're going into town, so they all pile in the back of the truck, and it starts out with them having fun and just running around town and stuff like that, and it ends with them like it goes through like this really rundown hotel, and they're like strung out on heroin and shit like that. I think someone's like snorting coke, and it just like completely takes such a big turn. But yeah, I think that's probably the most memorable gag from it.
They're just going for Beach Boys to make a death.
Yeah, exactly, and it's still like it's the happy fun time vibe, and then it goes all right back to normal at the end. Like they pull into the camp, and they're like, "Oh, going to town's the best," stuff like that. Like, so it's I would say that one's probably the most memorable one, at least in my mind. But again, great movie, pretty solid Netflix series in both cases, I would say. Yeah, that's that is mine.
Well, you know what? I just got a new thingy, new TV that has Netflix on it, and you know what? I think you've sold me on something to watch later tonight.
I don't think the movie's on Netflix anymore, sadly.
Never mind.
Let me check, but I know when I showed it to Weaver, it wasn't. Okay, never mind. It is.
Oh, no, isn't it part of the setup of the pitch where you have to experience the thing that you were pitched in some way?
I mean, you at least have to watch it.
If I say, "Hey, go look at this like murder video from ISIS," do you have to go watch it?
Well, that's never came up. Funny enough, though, Will's tried to pitch me books, and I've shot him down completely for that. So I assume an ISIS video would probably not fly. It's more though about the time, so I guess it matters how long the ISIS video is.
That is
I'm only 15.
I mean, I'm only.
What a 15-minute long ISIS video.
Oh my god! Are you
I don't
dropping
read
hints?
like a book that's gonna take me days.
Oh yeah. But
no, I feel like we'd probably get put on a watch list for that, and we already probably do a little bit too much copyright infringement, so we don't want to push it too far.
Oh yeah. But okay, yeah, so it is on Netflix,
but
which
FBI really cares about whether or not you use Beatles songs.
Stop doing it.
Come to think of it, it would be kind of strange if it wasn't on Netflix, being that they made 2 fucking original series about it. So you'd think that they'd have the original, but
It would be a bad idea not to.
yeah. But yeah, so that is my pitch. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Good.
Okay, so my bitch pitch for my bitches
Oh boy.
is going to. I'm sorry, it's a shitty rhyme, but it just was there in the air for me to grab. I'm going to pitch a web serial, which
Ew.
for people born after the 1800s, serial novels are things that were, upon release, published in snippets week to week or in whatever interval. A lot of Charles Dickens stuff was published in serials and newspapers, but the history lesson is irrelevant. This web serial was published online, but is entirely completed at this point, so that was irrelevant to tell you. It's called Worm, which
Okay.
both of you just tell me your first impressions on if I told you, hey, read this very long book called Worm. What do you think you would enjoy it?
I mean, I'm picturing Earthworm Jim right now. I remember that being like a ridiculous game. So no, I mean, right now I'm kind of not looking forward to it. No.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I mean, the concept of a web serial is, I don't know. It feels too much like webcomic to me, and that just goes bad places more often than not.
Hey, there are some good webcomics before the hentai kicks in. But no, I mean, it was published on, what is it even called? Fucking...
Live journal. No?
It was...
Instagram? Are you looking for the word
No,
Instagram?
not Insta... No, WordPress of all fucking places.
Oh,
the
boy.
most free place to publish things. It was originally published on WordPress. But it is a web serial set in a alternate Earth fictional setting where there are capes, also known as superheroes. It's a superhero setting. But the way it's set up is a lot of the capes are like either business sponsored or like supported by the government, and there's not a super clear divide on what makes a villain and what makes a hero. It's more often than not just based off of whether or not you have powerful enough sponsors, but it centers on like a teenage girl. It's sort of in the vein of Divergent or Hunger Games in the fact that it's this 13-year-old girl going against like norms of society, but it's actually got a plot and is interesting, and you care about the people in it, and it's not just a fucking paperweight that you should probably burn in the future, like Divergent was. The powers in it are super neat and interesting. The main character has what you would think would be a super shitty power. She can control bugs to a super minor degree, but the way she uses it is really interesting and neat, and advances throughout the 1.6 million word long story. It's
Jesus.
super fucking long. It's like this. Yeah, it's like the size of 26 short novels or something. But it's good. You find out throughout the series like what gives people their powers, and it's not good. Obviously, it turns out that like the only reason anyone ever gets powers is through traumatic experiences that determine what kind of power they're going to get and whatnot. And you get to see this girl like she begins really wanting to be a hero in the beginning. She's like, yeah, I want to be a superhero and help people. And then like the first time she goes out and stops a crime, this big time hero shows up and is just a utter fucking dick to her. And he's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, bug girl. No one needs you. So she ends up teaming up with this group of like low level, like fucking D-list supervillains on the street, and becomes a petty criminal, and it just spirals out of fucking control from there. And I'm not even spoiling anything because that's the first few goddamn chapters out of 1.6 million words. It's real good.
I'm looking it up here on Wikipedia. Everything says for the reviews for this thing, it says like it was pretty universally, like they say actually the words, entirely favorable reviews.
Damn.
So this sounds great.
Yeah, that actually does
Yeah, if you
sound
like
where'd you
superhero
find this?
stuff. I don't even fucking remember, honestly. I read it in high school, and there's a sequel, which I think is still being published periodically. It's not finished yet. I'm reading the sequel right now. But I read it in high school. I don't even remember how or where I found it. Probably Reddit or something.
It's a good source.
Reddit finds good entertainment, but it's great. I mean, every power is like interesting. It's not like, ooh, Superman's just going to get the shit out of you. Every power has like a drawback, or even most of them are just shitty that the person has to be like clever to use properly, which I think makes it very interesting. And once you get like halfway through, it just gets butt fucking wild. So that makes it even better.
Damn, that actually does sound pretty interesting.
Is if I would be able to say my favorite hero from it, I'm gonna say shit. I posed this option by myself with no prompting, and I didn't have an appropriate answer for it. But I'm going to say one of the Thinker villains I really like. The powers that people have in it are categorized by like 12 different styles. There's Thinkers, which are like clairvoyance and precogs and stuff, and then there's Brutes, which just beat the shit out of stuff and stuff like that. But one of the Thinkers is able to ask herself a question, and then her brain immediately gives her every single step that she would need to succeed to do it. But she's like one of the... Yeah, she's like one of the major bad guys, though, so she just fucks everyone up. It's great.
Damn.
Do you think you'd be a hero or a villain in this world? In this world you're talking about?
Depends on like what my power would be, because a lot of it is, like I said, there are like corporate sponsored capes, and like if you have a shitty power that's hard to make look good, they just don't want to give you attention. Like the Bud Girl, they're like, ooh, you At one point, I think she interacts with like some good guys, and they're like, "Yeah, if you want to look good, you need to stop fucking telling like wasps to stab the shit out of people with caspation on them. You need to like get some ladybugs or some shit." But
oh no, dude, she just needs to find the right sponsor, like the NRA or the NRC or something. I think they'd love her.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, aren't there any organizations trying to like save the bees?
Yeah, right.
Not that came up within the narrative. No, I'm afraid not. But I think the villain work seems to be far more profitable in it, so I'm gonna be a douche, and I'm not going to be the villain who like kidnaps people and commits genocides, but I might commit petty theft. I've always thought like, if I have telekinesis, I'd rob banks all fucking day or bullshit like that. So I'd probably be a villain, honestly.
I mean, it just makes fiscal sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like being a hero doesn't pay off. Morally, maybe, but villain, no. It's the right choice.
Plus, the villains get all the best lines. Let's be honest.
Oh, of course.
Really do. I can. I give a mean fucking monologue. Let me tell you.
Can't get caught monologuing, man. I learned that from a documentary called The Incredibles.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, there's my pitch. Everyone, go read Worm. It's only like a month out of your fucking life.
I mean, I'll probably read a little bit of it at least.
Oh no, it does do a good job of making you like actually give a shit about the characters in the world. So once you read like a good bit of it, you're just going to be like, nope, I need to finish. I need to do more. Like I've been reading. I fucking moved in my apartment yesterday, and every second that I wasn't lifting a couch, I had my phone in my hand reading the sequel. So.
And where can you find it again?
You just look up Worm web serial, and Google will show you the way. It's made by, I think. It's a dude. I want to say it's a guy who wrote it. Their name is Wildbow. There was talks about it getting published into a proper book, but I don't know if that ever happened.
It should. It seems to be like pretty well received.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, they might as well.
The Worm on Google. Search it.
Hell yeah. If
Yeah,
I care enough to find a link, I'll put that in the description.
Fuck you. It's not even like a hard thing to find a link. It's one Google search and a click.
Yeah, but then you gotta copy and Control C and stuff. It's a whole thing.
That's true. That's like 6 clicks too many for the average man.
I don't have superpowers.
Exactly.
So I guess we'll move on to my pitch now, right?
Hell yeah. Let the professional do his job.
Should I get my own theme music? I think I should, but we'll go without. I'm actually going to pitch you guys something that we already pitched on the show, The Pitch. It's a band, one of my favorites, called Ludo. And I don't know if you guys are into ska, but I was.
Oh,
and
my...
I feel like it's funny. I was...
Wait,
Sorry, go ahead.
Were those the guys that did that song Love Me Dead?
Yes, they were.
Okay, I've heard that one song by them.
Yeah, no, they definitely could be considered a one-hit wonder. They had that one song, Love Me Dead, that was on the radio for a while, and it has a goofy music video, too, so I'm also pitching you their music videos are super entertaining. But I've seen them multiple times live, and they're kind of like a ska, but also goofy band. I was really into them when I was like 20, 21, so for all I know, they haven't aged very well, but I've listened to a couple of my favorite songs by them recently, and I still love them. They have a song called Girls on Trampolines, so they're just ridiculous. But one of their best works was they did come out with a 5-song rock opera, which...
Oh, rock opera.
Yeah, it's like just pretty much like a story throughout song and stuff. 5 songs where it tells the story about a guy who loses his girlfriend in a car crash. He misses her, so he creates a time machine, and he goes back in time but overshoots it and ends up going back to prehistoric times. And then that song stops, and then it goes forward in time to like this post-apocalyptic world with a dragon and stuff. So that's happening, and zombies are there. So then the next song goes back to the time traveler who overshoots his landing again, ends up in the future with the dragon and the zombies and all that, and he helps them beat that. And the whole story is like they're thanking him for saving the world, so they send him back in time to be with his girlfriend, and it's a lovely little rock opera that is not nearly as silly as the rest of their work, but I think that almost makes it better because it makes it seem like, hey, these guys could put some pen to paper and actually write some shit, or they could just have a fun party too. So Ludo, and the name of the album is Broken Bride. So you all should check that out.
Damn.
I don't know, are you guys into ska at all?
Oh yeah.
Some good ska.
I'm definitely a huge fan of the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Real Big Fish, etc., etc. You know, obviously those are the two fucking like ones that everybody knows, but Streetlight Manifesto as well. Definitely one of my favorite. Ska.
Still saying things that like you could name, and I still wouldn't be entirely convinced that you listen to ska. You just like heard people talking about them.
Hey, shut up. Jonas actually got me into
most out there.
No, but I was kind of nervous. I didn't know. Ska's kind of a hit or miss thing. Either you love it or you're just like, ska. Jeez.
I mean, it's just it's fun. I mean, it's like
I was introduced. I respect you. It's your turn, my boy.
So now you respect him.
Yeah.
Wait, who's going? Am I going?
I don't know.
Go.
What's going on?
Why has this happened more this episode than any other?
Because we're too polite.
Okay.
The other thing too that's kind of cool with this band is just the way I was pitched them. I remember I was in some year in college, and I was sitting at a table in our rented house, and these friends of mine burst in and were like, hey, we're gonna go to a concert, do you want to go? And I'm like, no, I never heard of the band, I don't want to go, I got some work to do or whatever. And they pretty much damn near carried me out the door. They're like, no, it's gonna be a lot of fun, you'd love these guys, you gotta come. Like, we already got, it's super cheap, $20 at the door, because they weren't big at all. So I went, and they instantly became one of my favorite bands. I got a t-shirt that night, autographs and everything, and I still follow the guys on Twitter. I don't think they tour as much anymore. They'll maybe do a once in a while show, but I mean, they've really just become, from that first night, was just like, man, if you were to ask me my top 10 bands, they would be in the top 3 for sure. So
wow.
Yeah, Ludo. A pitch that carried on for ages.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed their one big song. So yeah, I'd be definitely interested in checking out some more of their stuff.
Yeah, no, if we weren't doing a fucking spoken medium right now, I would be listening to some of it to give a response, but I would also like to be involved in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can wait. I mean,
We have learned on the show that
give
sometimes on the show that
I'm
sometimes
just going to offer a 5-minute interlude.
Jesus Christ, Zach, shut up.
We do notice on the show that when you pitch bands, it does get hard to review them through this medium sometimes. So sometimes we'll go to a show too. We'll be like, and you got to go to First Avenue and watch them too. So at least there's a story of some drunk guy spilling a drink on you, at least for the episode, you know?
Fair.
It's fair.
Oh my god, that reminds me of when I went to see Taking Back Sunday this past year. That show was fucking ridiculous. They toured with I'll Get Out and Every Time I Die, which if you aren't aware, Every Time I Die is a lot heavier of a band than Taking Back Sunday, and it got pretty fucking rowdy in the pit there. Like, we were standing, it was me, Weaver, the other guy that's on the show, and two of our other friends, and like, we didn't know anything about them. So like the first guys that were up, they were, kind of like the same vibe as Taking Back Sunday, pretty emo, all that. And then Every Time I Die gets on, and this dude just fucking, like, immediately they start, it's real heavy, dude's like screaming, and people are just shoving each other. Like, I think we got pushed a good like 6 or 7 times, and we weren't even like in the pit. There were just people just fucking throwing themselves at each other. And then Taking Back Sunday went on, and we witnessed some girl getting dropped on her head when she tried to crowd surf. It was pretty traumatizing. What? Oh, yeah, wait, did we not tell you about that, Zach?
I don't remember the story, no.
That was, like, legitimately kind of traumatizing, because, like, and the worst part was, I think Tony and Troy actually helped her, like, get up there. But, yeah, people were crowd surfing and stuff like that while Taking Back Sunday was on, and then... So this one girl wanted to go, so two of her guy friends turned to us, and they were like, oh, she wants to go up, she wants to crowd surf. So Tony and Troy go over and help her, and then she makes it maybe like 2 or 3 people in, and then some dude, like, some asshole just fucking like pushes her instead of like trying to hold her up. He like shoves her, and and it's like a concrete floor too, and she just falls and slams her head off the ground. It was fucking traumatizing.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's speaking of just concert stories, that's my one concert story.
They all went to a YouTube concert.
Sorry, you go.
Zach, say again?
I was just making a joke that I went to a YouTube concert, and that was a real fucking bore. It was against my own will.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine. But anyway, what were you saying, Jason?
Oh, we had that happen too, where some girl got dropped on her head. I think they need to ban crowd surfing because it just.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so many people I can see getting concussion before I'm like, concerts are dangerous these days. I don't know about this, kids.
Seriously, like it just. Oh my god, and it was like. It was just so weird seeing it happen too, and I felt especially bad because, again, like they had helped her get up there too. So I was like, oh, are we partially responsible for this, or like how
so that makes you like accessories to a murder.
I mean, she was fine. Like, she got back up and, I mean, she went over and, like, sat down for a minute. I don't know if she, like, got checked out or anything, but it's not like she fucking...
You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like she died. So, there at least is that. Anyway...
I hate to break it to you. She's gonna die. I mean, I hate to break it to you.
I mean,
there
eventually.
will be a death in her future.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not by crowd surfing, I hope.
Yeah, that would kind of suck. I don't want to die by crowd.
Everybody having a good time around you and you just bleeding out on the floor. Wow, that is pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly. Just, guys, come on, help me. There's so many of you.
I'm sure I've had that nightmare before. I don't like that line of thought.
Yeah. So let's move on to a lighter note and get into some of these discussion questions here.
What's the worst death you've ever seen in front of you?
Jesus.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm sorry. Jason, don't answer, please.
This one time I was numb.
This one time I played God of War, and it was a wild time.
That'd probably be something.
Many boys.
So anyway, I figured
I was on the food truck once, and I left one of the gas lines on and almost barbecued somebody. He ended up just burning off his eyebrows and shit. But it was definitely one of those things where I was kind of like, "Oh man, I got really close to having to go to court."
Yeah, no kidding. Holy shit!
I like how it's not a concern of like, oh boy, I almost harmed someone. It was, ooh, legal fees are bad.
Hey, he's a goofy guy. He made it a joke. He was fine.
It's not. Whew, I wouldn't do well in prison. It's. I don't want to go to court.
Yeah, right. I don't want a suit.
I don't want to buy a suit for this.
But best death.
Let me think. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I figured we would talk a little bit about our experiences with pitching and being pitched to various things. So I think we can probably just start with what is one thing you tried to pitch to somebody or tried to get somebody into and it just did not work at all. They either didn't like it or they just didn't care to watch it or what have you. Or experience it, I guess, even if it wasn't a movie or TV show.
I have the easiest answer for this right now.
Oh, go right ahead.
By far, my least successful attempt at ever trying to get anyone into any form of media or just form of goddamn enjoyment ever is trying time and time again. I've given up by now, but I've done it at least fucking 5 times maybe to just, for the love of God, get Jamie to play D&D with me. And she just fucking hates it every time. It's just not her groove, and she does it, bless her heart, to try and please me. But at the end, I'm like, so how was that? And she was like, yep, still not into it. So
sad.
I've given up. It's heartbreaking, honestly.
Honestly, at this point, just throw her out. It's not worth it.
No, my rent just went way up. I need her to pay half.
Fair.
You can't commit too much, yeah.
Yeah. Keep her around until our Patreon starts taking off, and then we can work something out.
Yeah, whenever we hit $900 a month for me to pay my rent on Patreon, then I'll kick her out. It's fine.
There we go.
Baby, you're either a druid or you're on the streets.
Cast animal form, or you fucking get out.
Be gone, beast. I should have talked about her. I don't know. I'm sure she's lovely.
She's okay. But no, that's my most disappointing attempt at a pitch. It's just, hey, can you please try and like D&D? Sure. Nope, I hate it. Just time over and over and over again. I get myself excited and then break my own heart, basically.
Well, I mean, again, at least she made the attempt. That shows she cares.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the story, I've been trying to get my girlfriend into Westworld for a year. She won't even try.
Oh, damn.
She and it's funny too because I'll bring it up. I have it downloaded and everything. And I'll be like, no, we should watch this. Because I haven't seen it, but I've heard great things and I really want to. But I know if I get committed in a show like this, she's gonna want to be a part of it halfway through the season. Mm-hmm. So I've been waiting for the right time and the right way to keep bringing it up. Like, hey, what about now? What about now? And I swear to God, her sisters will bring it up. Like, have you heard of Westworld? Oh, you love it. And they'll tell her about it. She's like, hey, Jason, we should check that out. And I'll be like, are you kidding me?
Oh, man.
Well,
and I brought it up later on that day. Oh, and she forgets about it. She's like, oh, what? Oh, I don't really want to watch that. I'm like, no, you were totally convinced.
You were into it.
Oh, my God.
I have to find the right series of words and just the right concoction. I don't know. But but that's one that I've been trying because they're almost done with season 2. I'm behind, and it bugs me. So I don't get cultural references from it. So I need to watch it, but I can't without it.
Oh, I've wanted to get into Westworld. So, if your girlfriend won't do it for you, hit me up.
Oh, man, we should hang out sometime.
There you go. Yeah, just, fly 900 miles out here, Zach, and then can all hang out.
Yeah, we'd have to do it on a specific day, like Sundays. So you can only travel one day.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll figure it out.
It's okay. I have an absurd amount of Southwest airfare points.
Nice.
Get out here now.
Please, I want to watch it with somebody so bad. Oh man.
Your Netflix original series, Savior.
So I guess.
Brandon, what about you?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess that means it's come to me. Part of me almost feels bad because I could cop out and do the girlfriend one as well, because I have.
Oh, girls are just real fucking disappointing, aren't they?
No, I mean
anything. What the fuck?
no, I mean
Already, jeez.
Okay, so I've got two. I've got the girlfriend one, and then I've got an actual other one as well. But for the girlfriend one, I tried to get Jenny to watch Kung Pao with me like a few months ago, and she just was not having it. So I don't know if maybe our senses of humor weren't in the mix at the same time, like at that same spot to be able to enjoy Kung Pao, because I fucking love that movie. But yeah, no, she
Heard
just
great things. I need to see it.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Weird
I mean,
fucking movie. I've never seen it, but I've grown up with references of it from all my fucking friends.
It's so good, especially if you've ever watched like any old 70s kung fu movies. Oh my god, it's such a loving parody of those. It's amazing. I have gushed about this movie several times on this podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, great movie. But yeah, so I don't know if she just wasn't feeling it at the moment or just didn't want to watch it. But yeah, tried to do that. Didn't work out. But my other one was trying to get literally everybody else in my friend group into League of Legends, and it didn't work at all. Everybody hated it.
You tried to get me to play one night, and I'm pretty sure I just screamed a no repeatedly because I downloaded it once and just hated it.
Well, exactly. Yeah, you played it like one time, and again, like at this point, Jake is the only person that still plays it. And...
Sorry, I don't enjoy games that aren't fun.
Yeah, but you play Smite, so like,
ouch.
So like, what's the deal here?
It's me actively
Why are
sad.
you hating?
But yeah, I tried desperately because, I really enjoyed it, and I was like, oh man, this game would be fun if I had more friends that played it. Because, I mean, yeah, Jake and I can fuck around and, have our fun with it. But see, if you have a whole team of 5 people fucking around all at once, it's even more fun. But, that never panned out.
I've had the same thing with Overwatch. None of my friends will join me online. I got like one friend that downloaded it and liked it, and it kind of teased me a little bit. I'm like, oh, maybe I can convince everybody. And now I've just become that annoying friend that won't shut up about Overwatch.
Yep.
So,
I mean,
thanks, jerk.
I will admit I've played League a lot less recently, but yeah, I mean, like, there was a point in my life I was just very into it. It was like all I ever wanted to play, and at least I have one friend that plays with me. Thanks, Jake.
Right.
But yeah, no, I tried to go for the full group, and I was like, oh man, we can have like a full team, and because back then they had where you could go into like ranked matches with full teams. So then you could be like, oh man, we'll do like a really good ranked team. We'll get really good at the game, and get noticed and shit. And yeah, that didn't happen at all.
Again, I reiterate, just play Smite.
Yeah,
it's better.
Not really. Not even a little bit. It's
more fun.
No, you guys join me on Overwatch. Come on, guys. Get on the watch. I don't think that's a thing.
I was gonna say, wait, is that a tag?
Is that a on the watch?
You guys can take that one too if you want. I don't mind.
Hell yeah.
So I googled "get on the watch" and second Google result. No, actually, all of these are just websites that are suggesting ways that you can end up on government watch lists. So
it's hilarious.
There we go.
How to get on the watch.
Could make that
that could be a rap line.
I was gonna say, yeah, we could make that a new segment. Just talk about different ways to get on government watch lists every week.
Well, no, I did that once when I was in like fucking middle school. I was on the phone with someone, and I was like, I wonder if anyone's listening in. So I just spent like 5 minutes just saying like Al Qaeda and fucking 9/11 over and over and over again because I was an edgy like 12-year-old, and I was like, hey, I'm going to get hunted by the FBI. Guess what? I'm still here.
That's a direct challenge to the FBI.
Come get me, FBI.
For you.
I say, well, my girlfriend's brother works for the NSA and very well could be listening to this. Who knows?
Hey, thanks for listening, buddy.
Yeah, right? He gets to hear it.
Tell
live.
all your coworkers. Yeah.
Come listen to the pitch while you're at it.
Exactly. Please support us. We need it.
Oh, that's funny.
Government funding.
Or failed pitch real quick. During one of the episodes of the pitch, I pitched Will Rush Hour because he had never seen it, and I thought it was like a cultural icon in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually reverse pitched me. He came back, was like, "Do you realize how many racist jokes are in that? Like half the jokes are just making fun of the way Jackie Chan speaks." And he pretty much turned me around. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think I like Rush Hour that much anymore."
Oh wow. I mean, it's
he ruined it
Wait,
for
so
me.
Wait, I'm sorry. You said he reverse pitched you. So, like, did he pitch you liberalism in that rebuttal? Like, racism's bad.
He pitched me #woke.
Yeah, exactly.
And I realized
he pitched the concept of opening your third eye.
it was not fun. I didn't like it. I don't appreciate it. Oh.
Damn.
Oh, I'm like
yeah.
thinking about Rush Hour in a new light. Like, God damn.
It kind of sucks because I liked it. I did. Do you understand the words that come right out of my mouth? No, nobody understands it. That's offensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
especially when Jackie Chan, he's doing all the work in that movie. He really is doing all the hard work, and Chris Tucker's just a jackass. So
yeah, I mean, makes sense. It's been a very long time since I've last seen Rush Hour, so I definitely don't remember as much about it, but kind of makes me want to revisit it now just to see. Yeah.
We'll finish it first. Baltic, what is it? Baltic
Avenue Productions.
Baltic Avenue Productions, or the Beef Sneeze YouTube channel, who will produce the Rush Hour racist overview video first.
The race begins for racism.
You gotta get one of those big thumbnails with like racist ? And like big red text with like an arrow pointing to Chris Tucker or like Jackie Chan or something like that. Just go full clickbait. Yeah, full clickbait.
Hey man,
don't get me started. Brandon's been in the group chat that we have listening to me just complain about shitty clickbait journalism over and over for the last week. I don't need to talk about this anymore.
Or do you?
Touchy subject.
I'll touch upon it very shortly. Just the thing that set me fucking off today is I open, because like I like superhero movies. I will keep up with superhero movies, and some people write decent articles about them. But I opened this article on, I don't even know, honestly, BCS, CBS, BC, some shitty ass website that doesn't matter and has no journalism standards. It was like, fan uncovers connection between Age of Ultron and Avengers 4. And it was talking about like the fucking visions that Thor had in the pole when he was basically seeing all the shit go down with like death and the Infinity Stones, and they're like, oh, it's the secret ending and what's going to happen. It's like, bitch, no, that's just goddamn foreshadowing. That's not a secret that some fan uncovered. You're just writing the most half-assed article to ever exist.
And you just feel so cheated, too, because I get into those, too. You read halfway through it, and you realize what happened, and you feel like an idiot. You're like, damn it, they got me again.
It's degrading to you and them.
Right. Hashtag fake news.
Yeah, for real. Wow, I didn't actually read the article that you sent. I just figured it was stupid, so I didn't want to waste my time with it. But yeah.
And that's like the third article I've sent in the group meet this week. I've just been getting pissed off so much.
I don't think I've read any of them, so you're welcome.
But you bad friend.
Meanwhile, Brandon's super happy.
Yeah, I'm
yeah, exactly.
Bad journalism, and Brandon's ignorant and happy. It's fine.
Exactly. Hey, ignorance is bliss. Well, all right. So, as we are approaching the hour mark here, I figure we can get into our final couple of questions here and then wrap it up, since I don't want to go on for too long. I don't want to have this another situation where we go for like 20 minutes to another almost like half an hour longer than I wanted to. But
Lightning round.
I mean, we don't have to go that quick. Obviously, we can elaborate, but so I think for our final questions here, we can do the best thing anyone has ever tried to pitch you. Well, anyone ever has pitched you, I guess, and the worst thing, like the thing that you just didn't care about whatsoever, or just didn't even bother watching, or that you did watch and it sucked. I guess I'll go first. So I'll start with my worst one because I already mentioned him earlier, but it was my friend Jake who pitched me the game Don't Starve, and he actually bought it for me at one point just because he wanted people to play it with. Okay, let's see. I'm on my Steam library right now. It says purchased, July 28th, 2016. You've played 2 hours. It was honestly the most fucking boring thing I've ever played. Like, I'm not really one for, like, the survival crafting type games in general, but I admit, sometimes, they can be more fun if you have more people with you, but, like, nothing about this game was even remotely entertaining to me. And I kind of feel bad because, like, he spent money on it and bought it for me, but at the same time, I don't really care because it was bad and I hated it. Like, I was so incredibly bored. Like, it was like, all right, well, we got to go up here and cut grass to make something. I was like, all right. Like, at least with Minecraft, I mean, like, you know where to start. You're like, okay, well, I need wood, But with this, it's like, okay, you can get wood, and then you can't really make shit with it. So, like, you got to get all this other stuff, and then I don't know. I don't know if maybe my attention span was just lacking or what, but could not get into it at all. And, I
feel bad because he spent money too. Like, damn, I wish I could like it.
Yeah, but I mean, Jake's kind of a dick, so I don't really mind. Okay. He's trying to force this game on me. It's okay if I don't like it. I've justified it to myself.
He bought me a game, but yeah, fuck that guy. Like.
I mean, Brandon. With the amount of shit we've ended up buying each other and not playing ever again, like, this is a drop in the bucket, but it's a memorable one because I just fucking hated it. Like, I was so incredible. Like, and it usually takes a lot for a game to just completely bore me, but oh my god, I mean, getting through those 2 hours was a struggle. I barely even made it through, like, 10 minutes before I wanted to be like, all right, I'm done with this.
But, that's the worst situation too, because you feel obligated to play like at least a little bit.
Oh yeah,
one night of it, and then you're like, oh, this is the worst.
Yeah, exactly. Then as far as the best thing somebody's ever pitched me, I know that I was very late in jumping on the hype train for this. And several thousand people fucking pitched it to me over the course of the past couple years that it's been airing. But I
know what it is. I fucking hate you for taking so long to watch it.
Yeah, I know. I gotta say, it's My Hero Academia. For the uninitiated, it's an anime about superheroes, and it's really fucking good. Like, I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. Like, I knew it, like, just from the outset, I was like, yeah, I'll probably enjoy this. This looks neat. Like, but the way they do all their characters and stuff like that, it's fantastic. I mean, and I remember actually, like, when it first started, I think there were maybe, like, 6 or 7 episodes out. Jonas told me to watch it. And he was like, yeah, man, it's going to be really good. Like, it's already off to a great start, but I can tell this is going to be really good. And with one of the most recent episodes that aired like a week ago, it's like, I mean, it's definitely in my top 10 of like my favorite anime series that I've ever seen. It's just fantastic. It's hard to really go into detail without giving too much away, but essentially it's about this little kid who in this world, pretty much everybody has a superpower or a quirk from birth, and it usually manifests around like 4 or 5 or something like that. And I mean, these quirks can range from like, some people can grow really big. This one guy can, like, I think he's made out of wood or something, but he can like extend tree limbs and stuff like that out of his body. One kid,
I don't know what's up with him, like, for real.
One kid, his sweat is nitroglycerin, so he could just make explosions at any point, like, on his body. But like there's such a wide variety of different powers, and some of them are actually like some you wouldn't think are cool, like actually end up being cool. Like one dude, he's dressed completely in denim. His hero name is Best Jeanist, but he can control like different fabrics and stuff like that. So like literally any article of clothing anybody's wearing, he can manipulate it. Like he could essentially strangle somebody with their own tie. But it's just like it's a very wide variety of stuff, and they're all kind of neat. But so the main character, he starts out and he doesn't have any superpowers. It's a pretty rare thing in the society now, since they've been breeding people with powers for so long. But he doesn't have a quirk, but he still wants to be a superhero. So it's about his journey to becoming, because it starts out, he's like, all right, my name is Izuku Midoriya, and this is the story of how I became the greatest hero of all time. So it lays that like little bit at the beginning, and you're wondering, you're like, well, he doesn't have any superpowers, like what happens? And it really it gets you invested in seeing, okay, where does this go? And then it starts off strong and just keeps getting better. I honestly don't think there's been a slow point in the series so far. But yeah, that's nice. I took so fucking long to watch it. I mean, there's like 3 whole seasons out now, and I only just finished it like a week ago, or just got caught up with it because it's still airing. But yeah, if you're into superhero stuff, it's fantastic. You can find it on any manner of streaming services. It's definitely worth the watch. Even if you aren't someone who's like typically into anime, I think it's still worth watching, just because the characters are so well written and the story is great. Yeah.
Where do you watch it? It's a Netflix thing, or where? Netflix? Nice.
No, actually, it's
now I know where.
No, actually, it's not. I don't watch it on Netflix. I use Verve, actually. Slight shout out to Verve as well. It's like $10 a month for their premium thing, and they essentially aggregate a bunch of different like channels and stuff like that. So they've got Funimation and Crunchyroll, 2 of the biggest anime streaming services ever. Nerdist, so they have a lot of those shows, like Harmon Quest. I know. Oh shit, I can't remember his name. I think it's Rob Paulson, the guy who did the voice of Yakko on Animaniacs. He has like a podcast where he talks to other like cartoon voice actors and stuff like that. So they have a show on there, and a bunch of other like D&D stuff on Nerdist. Mondo, they do a bunch of cartoons. Cartoon Hangover, Geek and Sundry, Shudder, which is all like horror movies and stuff like that, and then Mubi, which has like other like I think mostly Asian films. But it's $10 a month for like at least $50 worth of like subscription fees. So I would definitely say it's worth it, even if you're not going to use all of the different channels. If you're only there for just a couple different things, I still think it's absolutely worth it, just because of how cheap it is.
For sure.
Sorry, did we get a sponsorship that I was unaware of?
I wish, because I use this shit constantly. But yeah, I mean,
send it out. Put a link in the description. Maybe they'll find us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
they'll be like, oh, someone linked us. We're not paying them. Throw them some bucks.
Yeah, right. Here's a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know that there are a lot of different YouTubers that do sponsorships with them, so you can even get a free month. So check it out, see if you like it, from pretty much any fucking YouTuber that's ever done anything cartoon or anime related. I'm sure they have a code for it.
Jesus, Brandon, stop selling out.
Shut up! It's a good service, all right. If I fucking like it, I'm gonna promote it to the
chill. For free. You're doing it all wrong.
It's because I like it. But no, that's
business class.
But no, that's where I watched all of My Hero Academia. I think they have a free like version of it that you can use. I mean, there might be like ads on it here and there, but I'm pretty sure there's like a free thing. But yeah. Anyway, My Hero Academia, fucking fantastic. I took a long time to watch it, but I'll stop gushing about it now and let you guys go.
Seriously, how aroused are you right now?
It's a good show, all right? Shut up.
Jason, you can go because I'm not sure what the thing I've been most happy with for being introduced to us.
Mine, I guess. I mean, the one that along your mode, you were talking about things that you put off and had always heard about. Mine was probably One Punch Man. That was something I'd heard about, and I kind of heard the concept, was like, whatever. And finally, I got pitched it and was like, fine, I'll just watch it. I went right through the whole series pretty damn quick. So One Punch Man was one. The other one that I don't know, you guys might roll your eyes. This one might be somewhat of a cop out, but I think Game of Thrones was about 2 seasons in before I hopped on, and like the next week I had like tattoos of like the Starks and the Lannisters and blades, and I was in Dothraki. Like, it took me like 2 episodes to be like, this is the best show ever. HBO is not TV. So.
Yeah, I was definitely.
I pretty clicked on pretty quick.
I was definitely similar once I started getting into the books. Like, I think I read through the whole series in maybe like 2 months. It was crazy, like just how much I got into it. But yeah, I definitely relate to that.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh man, you should. It's so good. But everybody tells you that. I don't need to be the 80th person. So
no, the thing that makes it worse is like everyone in my life is like, oh, that's like one of the biggest nerds I've ever seen. You've seen Game of Thrones? Let's talk about Game of Thrones. And I'm like, no, I haven't.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
I personally recommend reading it over watching it, but you know.
Maybe for nerds.
I was gonna say, maybe I'm just a stickler because I read all the books first and then don't like the direction they're taking with the series now, but whatever.
Oh, it's very clearly kind of like rushed, and they weren't planning on having to write it, and that's very obvious.
Yeah,
for sure. But I actually listened to all the books. I worked at like Wells Fargo as like a paper pusher, like literally staple move to do pile. And so I just listened to the books on audiobook for like a month. And then we got laid off. And it was kind of like, cool, that's fine. I'm done with the books.
There you go.
I've lived my purpose here.
Nice.
But what was the other question? It was like,
oh,
yeah, right? I don't want to overlive my welcome.
It was best and worst. So you've done best. Now, what is the worst thing you've been pitched?
Oh man, there's Antichrist has got to be up there. That movie has. We've already talked about it a little bit. There are some things in there that just awful. I did have a buddy once pitch me a job that ended up really bad. He wanted to pitch me selling fireworks for a summer, and my God, that was hell on earth.
Oh.
So if anybody has the chance, don't do it. It's so damn hot. Oh.
It also sounds like something that would attract a lot of the douchiest people possible.
Oh yeah, people want to know exactly about him, and we're like, dude, it's $20. It's not going to be worth it. Just give me your money and walk away. Like,
they're pretty like noise.
Yeah, you light the fuse, it explodes. What the fuck do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I would say the worst thing I ever got pitched to me was probably Antichrist or working at a fireworks stand for a couple weeks. That was just garbage. So
interesting. I never considered.
What about you?
I was gonna say I never considered being pitched a job. Damn.
Oh, dude, he was like, it's gonna be fun and everything. And there was one night there where I swear to God, we were closing up shop. I was walking across the street. There's a liquor store. We were gonna get a case of beer and just hang out for a bit and celebrate a good day at work. And on the walk back, I saw a storm cloud come by, just start the biggest fucking storm that just popped out of nowhere. And we were like chasing down fireworks in the Menards parking lot that we were in. It was like we were on a boat. It was awful. It was the worst.
Holy shit.
It's forever now because we've been through hell. But my God, I was almost in tears, and it was a good thing it was raining because you couldn't tell.
The best time to cry uncontrollably.
Oh, of course.
I think we didn't make any money. I think we lost money from quitting our jobs. So.
Nice. Well, all right. Zach,
what about you guys?
Yeah, Zach, I guess it is now your turn.
Okay. Still trying to think about my answer to the second question. But the best thing I've ever been pitched is probably by Troy, honestly. God rest his podcasting soul. He will never return to us. But no, Troy's the person who made me go to Hobby Express one day and pick up my first board game. And frankly, board games have just changed the way I view like enjoying any game of any variety with friends. It's opened my eyes to like the possibility of telling a lot more narrative and interactive experiences with people around you and making it like an occasion that you can enjoy. I've started collecting board games essentially because I don't have any of my fucking friends who like board games live near me anymore. So I just buy them and I'm like, one day they'll be back from school. Board games,
dude.
They're great.
We pitched. I think it's Betrayal on House on the Haunted Hill before. Have you played
Yeah,
that
I
one?
have that. It's a real good fucking game. I like it a lot.
Dude, when you fly out here to watch Westworld, we can play games together.
Oh my god, it's great. I'll bring all of my board games.
Oh, it'd be so fun.
Start of a
Get a separate carry-on bag.
Hey.
Yeah, no. They're great. Because, like, board games, you have, like, oh, we can just play Risk and get drunk and fuck around with this game that everyone knows how to play. Or, like, there's House on the Hill where it's this, like, sort of adventure game on a fucking tabletop, and then it's a, like, shitty someone just betrayed the entire team and is now trying to kill you. And then there's just the, like, cooperative games, like this Sherlock Holmes game I got, where it's literally you and other people sitting around a table reading these like snippets of a murder case or whatever kind of thing that you're hired to solve, and you just take turns reading it and you talk about it, and there's no defined endpoint. It's just whenever you think you're able to answer all the questions that could come up about the case, you end. And normally you're fucking wrong, but it's just a wild ride to get there. Their board games are just varied and great, and I love them. I love them so much.
Well, when you come out, you can express that to me, man. We could talk about it.
Will, I'll show you all of the joys of spending $100 on a piece of cardboard.
Jesus. So
I mean, I have a problem.
So Troy is the one I have to blame for you never shutting up about board games now.
Fuck you, I love them. They're good. I'd marry board games if I could.
Ew.
Hey man, it's 2018. I'm not judging.
God damn it.
I'm a transgender dog, and my board game's my man.
You heard it here first. Breaking news on the you know what I meant.
You heard it here first. Speech impediments. They're coming back.
I ruined my own joke, damn it.
But
You'll get them next time.
as far as the worst thing I've ever been pitched, I have to say that has made the least good impact on my life is going to be alcohol, just because of the number of times I've thrown up on my own floor.
Wow.
Because that's bad.
That's a deep one. That cut me a little bit too. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, that's
Oh, too real.
God damn.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
I mean,
going
Oh, God.
to sit here and say I'm an alcoholic. I've just had some real bad nights.
I mean, one of them was your introduction to the podcast. That was
Yeah.
the
That's
aftermath
true.
of
The
that.
first episode
Was,
is-
What was the aftermath of that? Have you already told your fans?
Yeah.
They already
It's
know?
never come up, has it?
Oh yeah, no, I told the story one time, but no, after Zach's first episode where he joined us on the podcast before he got his fancy new mic and was shuffling around his laptop a lot, and it made a lot of fucking noise. He had been drinking steadily over the course of the podcast, and I mean, we had talked for a good couple hours, mostly about things we hate, because as I know, Zach is a hateful person. But we talked a lot about just different shit that we dislike, and again, he had been drinking considerably more and more as it went, so we cut off the recording for the night, you know, we ended off and everything, and we were gonna, I can't remember, I think we were gonna play Smite or something, we were gonna play some video game, and Zach leaves for a few minutes, and then I just hear background noise of just like moaning. like I think the exact words I used last time I told this story was, it was kind of like if you've ever played Call of Duty, like the Nazi zombies, how you can hear like the zombie moans in the background. Yeah, like ah, like it was kind of like that. And then I just hear this like loud. It honestly sounded like he exploded. Like, we later came to find out that he had puked all over his floor. Yeah, he puked all over his floor, so we had to call his girlfriend to go and help him out, make sure he didn't die, because he went completely silent after that.
Listen, no, she came up and tried to wake. She came back, tried to wake me up, and I was like, "Shut up, I'm fine." And then she left me there for the rest of the night because she just didn't care. Yeah. She was like, "Okay, he's breathing, he's being a dick, I'm out."
Yeah.
Oh man, I would have hated walking up to that.
Yeah, right. And we felt bad too because like she was out somewhere as well when we like had to call her, and I was like, because I texted her first, I was like, hey, so I hate to like interrupt what you're doing, but I think Zach might be dead. Like you might want to check on him.
They just hang up.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was like her and then our friend Tony. They were like the two people that were closest, so we were gonna send one of them to check on him just to make sure that he wasn't dead. But yeah, God. So I can understand why you would say alcohol was the worst thing that has ever been pitched to you. I've witnessed.
Went to one bad gathering in college, and they were like, "Here, try this." And it's been downhill from there.
Sounds like most of my life.
This is the point. Nope. This next one. This was the point. It all went down. Nope. This next choice. I could have turned it back, but I didn't.
Oh my God! How steep is this hill? Where is it going to stop?
When does it end?
Oh God.
Oh man. But.
Oh, it's depressing.
Well, fellas.
You know.
Oh God, you're going.
You know something good that has been pitched to me in the past. Something that is pretty good and important. Goblin time, Brandon.
Oh God, I forgot about that almost. Thanks for reminding me. I almost forgot. So, Jason, I know you said you listened to the toy episode, so I'm pretty sure we did this segment. But before we go, we'd like to ask for our favorite segment, Goblin Time. We'd like to just ask you, how do you feel about goblins? Do you think they deserve the same rights as humans, or what's your stance on goblin rights and goblins in society today?
Well, I'm glad you actually asked me this question. This has been a hot topic around my circle of friends.
Nice. Goblin time's going worldwide, baby.
Yeah, no. I don't know if you guys have checked the BBC, but they've been talking about it too. Yeah, goblin rights. I personally believe they need to work slowly through citizenship. And I know that immigration and stuff is kind of hard to figure out. So I had a system where for X amount of good deeds and things in our society, they gain points, and they can slowly earn levels of citizenship up to, it's a 1 to 5 system where they gain more rights the more levels that they earn, but crimes that they commit will lose them points. And if the whole family system, so it's like my whole Westling clan, we'd all be working together to be good citizens until like that one cousin like fucks it all up for us. So that's at least my thing. I know it's kind of mainstream. That's what everybody's saying, but that's my opinion of goblin rights.
You know what? That kind of reminds me of North Korea's approach to fucking internment camps. If you fuck up, your whole family gets sent there. But
Oh yeah, no, I got the idea from a couple of different branches.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, I think it works fine.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with North Korea. That is Brandon's personal opinion.
Now you're just putting words
Toys
in my mouth.
episode 2, yeah.
Wow. I'm impressed with the depth of answer there. That was a good one. But
you're the first one to offer like logistical response.
Yeah, exactly. You're the first one to like actually give us a system. That's wow. I'm impressed.
Did you guys not? Oh, I meant I love them. Sorry.
I meant they are good and nice. Well,
I was looking for a goblin racist to join me.
Yeah, I was gonna say. At
least, I could find one.
Yeah, at least you're not a horrible, prejudiced person like Zach is. Fun fact: nobody has ever agreed with Zach on his stance on goblin rights. So I'm glad to see that's going.
It's my job. I play the bad guy.
What is it? What's your stance?
I think they're explicitly subhuman and deserve no rights.
Oh wow.
I know it's.
Oh wow.
Pretty fucked up, man.
It's bold.
But yeah,
We'll leave this for the internet.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna run for president with that as my main basis for my campaign and see how that turns out.
Fuck the goblins, 2020.
There we go. A strictly goblin.
Goblins aren't sending their best people. They're the raiders.
There's good people on both sides.
Oh man. Well,
yeah.
I think with
I'm
that,
disappointed.
that's a good place to wrap it up. Any final thoughts before we go, Jason? Any last plugs you want to do? Anything you missed?
I told you about Baltic and Dragons, the pitch. Our whole website's Baltic Avenue Productions. We also have an Overwatch podcast on there and a show called Franchise Fanatics. So check that out. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, just my name, Jason Wessling. Link it in the description. I don't need to go through all this. Say hi on Twitter. It's dying. Why not now before in a year? So.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Thanks for having me too. I guess you guys are actually the first podcast I've ever guested on, so this was like a lot of fun. Actually, I was looking forward to this all week.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. I'm definitely glad to have you. It was good to talk to you again. It's been a while.
I should have you guys on for a pitch, actually. So we might have to talk about that later. Have you guys guest over and pitch us something in depth? So.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'd totally be down for that.
Yeah. And I miss working with you too. I miss that too. It's been too long.
Yeah, it's been too boring and serious at Canes.
The best toast, man. We made the best toast.
I mean, at least I have Damien now, and he and I are
Damien, I miss
very goofy. But yeah, now we have a good time. But yeah, Zach, any final thoughts on anything that's been discussed here?
I think that anyone listening should give all of these a nice little try. It's nice to broaden your horizons of media intake in the world, and fuck goblins.
Jeez.
Wow. I mean, all right. You heard it here first, folks. But well, with that, thanks for listening. Again, links in the description to everything Jason mentioned, and I will probably put that link to Worm as well down there, and a link to free trial of Verve with code BEEF. No, that's not a thing. They don't sponsor us, but if you want to, please give us money. Somebody from Verve, if you're listening.
Verve. Hold on, I'll set it up. Don't you worry.
Hell yeah, dude!
Just spam their promotion box with hashtag beef, and they'll start something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Zach, quick, use your YouTube connections. Get us some sponsors.
Because I have many.
I mean, you have an important one, so let's get that
Have
going.
one, and that's
Anyway.
being saved for an absolute dream. So just slow down.
Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.